all black people's land. That's why you got to get out of this whole Africa thing. Because we are more than just that continent. The whole earth is ours. We are everywhere. You go any place on earth, you will find niggas. That's why you got to get out of this whole Africa thing.
It's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk.
Let's end this thing right here!
It comes as a great shock around the age of 5 or 6 or 7 to discover the flag to which you have pledged allegiance, along with everybody else, has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians were you, that the Indians were you. It comes as a great shock to discover that the country, which is your birthplace, and to which you owe your life and your identity.
Message!
Always get the credit.
Yeah,
they got the credit.
Right.
It's actually aliens.
So when they got there, it was native, it was black people's already there.
What was his name? What was his name?
Who? I don't know.
I
didn't know.
So you saying it wasn't
Native Americans there, it was blacks.
It was black.
It was blacks, right.
But blacks got Native American in us.
That's native.
Because I'm Indian.
Oh, Chief, Ajax, Soldier of the Middle, Heavy Muscle.
I own a book several years ago and still have it in my possession by Michael D. Coe himself, who is considered one of America's leading archaeologists and anthropologists from Yale, one of America's most prestigious schools. In his own work, he referred to them as Negroid. And he went further to state the title of the book is America's First Civilization, what you call civilization. And to turn around and to tell these youngsters and other people in America in particular that the black men was the first to build any type of civilization in the Americas will be disturbing to Americans. And so...
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Even if you're right, let's say you're right, what difference does it make?
It makes a lot of difference.
What kind of difference?
It takes the inferiority complex out of the black man who felt that his only beginning and relationship here in this part of the world is that of slavery. Then it puts him in the driver's seat because, again, they don't tell you that there are man-made hills within the United States. They call them mounds. And they range from in the Midwest all the way down the eastern seacoast of the United States. And they have found artifacts in them that are similar to things found in West Africa and in Egypt, which is Northeast Africa, that predates the arrival of the so-called indigenous Indians to these lands. Antonio Pigafetta, that Dr. Ben mentioned, who sailed with Magellan when Magellan came to the so-called New World in 1519, when they landed at the land of Verzin, which we now call Brazil, they were met by people in canoes that carried as many as 40 people. And Antonio Pigafetta recorded that these people were jet black. It seemed that they came out of the infernal marshes. That meant that they were burnt. He said, naked and black as they are, in 1519, 27 years after Columbus's arrival.
The fuck is he talking about?
The Olmecs are the real South American people and the only South American people that you should be studying for antiquity. But we study Aztecs and we study Mayans and we study Chiapenecs and on down the line. Why? Because the Olmecs look dead Negroid.
Knowledge is not geographical. This thing here, first of all, it was one planet, one landmass at first. You see what I'm saying? Before you had whatever, continental drift, or some cataclysmic thing, to break it up into continents. You understand what I'm saying? So when the Native Americans, which was black people up in the Montauk Indians, say that we got that the first place where man stood up was Montauk, Long Island. They're telling the truth.
Well, Native Americans were in India, Native Americans were in Africa, Native Americans were in New Zealand, Native Americans, I guess, were in the Netherlands, I don't know. But whatever. I'm just simply showing you, there are wonders all around you if you open your eyes and begin to see. Everywhere you go, there is a wonder. This planet is a wonder. We are a wonder. Montana, when you go over here to the United States, we got a big pyramid. At the North Fork of the American Rivers, on a little island there, is a huge pyramid. That's in California. At Gila Bend, Arizona, there's another pyramid. At Painted Rock, there's another pyramid. And right over in Illinois, the state that I come from again, in Cahokia, Illinois, down near Collinsville, there's a state park called Cahokia State Park, and there's a pyramid there bigger than the one in Giza. You don't have to go deep to find it. I can go right down the state.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
So I refuse to despair. I think we're going to achieve our freedom, because however much America strays away from the ideals of justice, the goal of America is freedom. Abused and scorned though we may be, our destiny is tied up in the destiny of America. Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth, we were here. Before Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic words of the Declaration of Independence, we were here. Before the beautiful words of the Star-Spangled Banner were written, we were here. For more than 2 centuries, our forebears labored here without wages. They made cotton king. They built the homes of their masters in the midst of the most humiliating and oppressive conditions. Yet out of a bottomless vitality, they continued to grow and develop. And I say that if the inexpressible cruelties of slavery couldn't stop us, the opposition that we now face, including the so-called white backlash, will surely fail. We're going to win our freedom, because both the sacred heart of our nation and the eternal will of the Almighty God are embodied in our echoing demand. And so I can still sing, we shall overcome. We shall overcome, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice.
Message!
As I said, the important thing here is we have to start challenging the history that was fed to us, because it's not entirely true. The important thing here is we have to start challenging the history that was fed to us, because it's not entirely true.
Just so the Indians, you could get dirty and you don't have to worry about starched iron dresses, and we had a lot of fun.
What kind of Indians were these?
I think my mother said Cherokee, and it's been a long time, you know. I don't know which one it was, she says. I don't even know if she remembers really, but...
Cherokee and Navajo. My father was Navajo and my mother was Cherokee.
What was a slave ship called that Christopher Columbus was on? Who funded that slave ship? Who paid for that boat? Like, what was these folks' race? Like, what was their background?
Painting dates from shortly after Columbus died and features what's considered the first and most accurate portrait of the great explorer on the left. It's also thought to be the first painting of Indians done in Europe.
What was a slave ship called that Christopher Columbus was on? Who funded that slave ship? Who paid for that boat? Like, what was these folks' race? Like, what was their background? African Americans, I have no education with that, period. I don't, I'm not even connecting to that no more, because that's a system. That's like connecting to say, hey, he's a bad guy, don't hang with him. I find out for myself. I'm not African American at all. My folks is not from Africa. And a lot of people in this room, folks, ain't from Africa. Might be a couple, But people just don't understand. I asked my girl, like, yo, grandma, what's your background? She's like, Redfoot and Blacktail Indian. What? Yeah, my mother and my father, we're 100% Indians. Asked my other grandma, we got Cherokee in us, and European, and Italian, a little bit. It's crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? That's why all over Africa, y'all look at me funny. Like, nigga, I'm African. Like, you're not, though. Like, you're not. 80% of slaves are already here as natives. It's crazy. Hey.
The fuck is he talking about?
Man, I be seeing y'all going crazy with the shit I've been saying on Sway. Niggas be like, yo, Walker said he not black. You're right, I'm not the Black America call me, and it's just hard for a nigga to be from the slums, the ghetto, the hood, whatever. Niggas want to say we from, and then when you become this celebrity, you get to walk around the world, get to travel around the world, you get to touch the people, and you get to find out the truth. And then when you get back home, what you call America, and you start telling the truth, the people you see that's in your community that's still plugged in the matrix and still trapped into what society tells you is reality. And you know it's not reality, you know it's not the truth, and it's hard to explain it because you truly learning still, you truly just experiencing false statements and false lifestyles. It's hard to explain. But just know, my nigga, like, I'm black. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't the Black America side, you know? Get the fuck out the matrix.
Up and see my beautiful black people suffer, victimized by the oppressive, harsh realities of the hood. I guess even though we were free, we were still slaves in the mind. Message!